I think it's pretty uniform with most missionaries. I was a deer in the headlights, absolutely terrified. I'm from Mesa, Arizona, so I'm used to the heat and the desert. And so going to Atlanta, the heat wasn't that big of a deal for me, but the humidity was crazy. I remember coming in out of the clouds and just seeing green as far as the eye could see, and it was pretty awesome. I was just absolutely terrified, obviously, but my mission president was absolutely wonderful, so genuine and kind, and I knew that he was going to watch over me, and so I felt pretty confident as far as that goes. The people of Georgia are absolutely incredible. Just the South in general, they're very kind, very religious people, and so there are far more similarities between Mormons and the Southerners in general than a lot of people may suspect. And people are very open to talking about spiritual matters. And the first day on my mission, I met two people that later got baptized, and people are very open to the Spirit and listening to what you have to say. At the beginning of my mission, the boundaries were a little bit different. It's a little bit smaller now, but when I started, it went from the northern area of Atlanta all the way up to the Tennessee border, and also bordered on South Carolina. And I wrapped a little bit around the southern part of Atlanta, but now that's part of another mission. So zones are assigned to each stake. So one stake is one zone, and it's typically a couple counties that consist of a stake. The members there are very strong, and they've had to defend their faiths for a long time. So they're awesome and missionary minded, and it's a really amazing and unique place to serve, because predominantly the faith in Georgia is Southern Baptist. You'll still get a lot of Pentecostals, Southern Baptist, Jehovah's Witnesses, Church of Christ, and Catholics, and then a lot of non-denominational Christian churches. So the like 90% of the people you talk to will be strong Christians. It's such a unique place to serve because people are so familiar with the commandments in general. Like a lot of the commitments that we extend to people, they were already keeping. So like the law of chastity definitely makes sense to them. Tithing was never an issue. Church attendance, so like the vast majority. The thing that was the biggest hindrance to people getting baptized was the word of wisdom. Most people down there, like smoking is really big, and most people recognize it as a sin, not just a bad thing to do, but they kind of see it as it's my only vice, that sort of thing. And so they're on their way, but sweet tea is like a gargantuan hurdle for people to overcome, because it's a cultural thing. Like everyone goes and drinks their grandma's recipe of sweet tea on the back porch during the summer, and they don't necessarily see it as that big of a problem. And then when we ask them to give that up or coffee, it's very much a struggle. Well, the first missionary in Georgia was shot dead, so there's that. Things have gotten better since then. But the temple was rededicated right before I got there, and so there's a huge push with the I'm a Mormon campaign, and so people are very familiar with who Mormons are, and we're very recognizable. Usually people mistake us for Jehovah's Witnesses, but you know, most people understand what a Mormon is. So it's an interesting starting point, most conversations. So I served from October 2011 to 2013. And so I started off in the city of Kennesaw, which is in the suburbs of Atlanta. And I covered both the local congregation and the stake single adult ward, which was so much fun. And then I served in Conyers, which is south of Atlanta, which is now part of a different mission. And then I served in Dawsonville, which is a little city up in the mountains of northern Georgia. And then I served in Cornelia, which is even further up in the mountains, very small, very rural. And then I came back to Marietta, which is another suburb of Atlanta.